Hey, hey, hey! Invisible Walls, episode 157's on the way.
Okay, that was Shane doing an imitation of Michael Scott, doing an imitation of Fat Albert.
Bill Cosby doing an imitation of Fat Albert.
Yeah.
I figure we need some
Can we
comedic relief. By now, maybe you guys have finished watching episode 156, our biggest episode ever.
Well, certainly our longest.
Yeah. Well, I guess you could define big in many different ways, but certainly our longest episode ever. I think ultimately we had so much good content that we just really couldn't cut any of it. So,
and that Canadian guy was pretty good as well.
Yeah, you know, Keely, he can carry a conversation here and there.
He's a good guy, buddy.
Good guy, buddy. So anyway, here we are at episode 157. There has been a ton of crap going down over the last week. Not so many games to talk about this week, but a lot of hot stories. And here to do that today is Marcus Beer.
Yeah, I am just got back from the royal wedding, and what a piss up that was.
When did that happen?
Friday.
Did anything happen?
She said I do.
That's all that counts, right?
Yeah.
I do take all your royal money.
Yes, I do agree to spend lots of public taxpayers' money, don't you know?
Yeah, and Ryan's here today.
I am indeed.
Interesting T-shirt that you can't see, and I have no clue what it is.
It's a
game
called Okaboo, and I don't wear game T-shirts that much but today's a laundry day. But it's the guys who did Rolando on the iPhone, and they're making this cool PSN game with cloud whales.
Cloud whales.
Is that like Wales the country?
Totally, man. I heard you're in the game. You can see your house from here.
Justin Spear will be here for the beginning of the show, maybe popping out for a little bit.
Maybe. I'll be somewhere.
Yeah. He's also drawing like a madman, which I've never seen Justin
what's
do
going on over
before.
there? It's like a cyclops
for the refrigerator.
I don't know what
That's the massive right there.
But the caption is, "Have you seen my asshole?"
What is going on in his head right now?
Well, it's a creature
You
with
mean right now?
It has two heads.
We'll scan it.
Yeah. Well, the creature has two heads, so I mean, you can't really tell which is the anterior.
It's like
which
human
is the
centipede.
Posterior.
Well, hang on. Everybody at this table
no, he
has their
has
ass
a head on
regular
each end.
basis, so why shouldn't his monster?
Yeah, it's a dick.
Okay.
Brooks is here. He'll be jumping in the show in a little bit. He's not on a mic right now.
I am actually. You don't
Well,
know
he
where I
just
am.
grabbed somebody's mic. And you already heard from Daniel Bloodworth. He will be sitting in throughout the whole concourse of our fabulous, fantabulous video podcast.
Concourse B.
That's right. Here we go.
And for everyone, when this week is over, we trust that you'll agree that Nintendo has once again raised the bar.
First, we're going to talk about Project Cafe / Wii 2 / whatever the hell Nintendo's going to call it. They have finally announced, or finally, I mean,
they've confirmed.
They've
that
confirmed.
It's going to be available to play at E3.
Yeah, and available for us to play, not just being played on stage.
Yeah,
Oh, is that what they said? I saw it playable, but I didn't know what that meant for us or not.
Playable as in people are going to go to their booth and be able to play it.
Yeah, the statement from Japan wasn't clear, and then a couple people got quotes from Nintendo of America saying, no, you guys will be able to play it as well. I don't know if it's going to be one of those after press conference things where we all rush up to the stage to play it. I don't know.
Well, hopefully they'll march out like 600 like half-naked women with
with them attached to
kids,
them.
dead kids.
All right, so coming up pretty soon, Nintendo is finally going to open up its eShop, which gives us the ability to download demos, check out new software, hopefully get a web browser in the thing, hopefully open up the functionality that we all thought we were going to get when it launched.
Which is also
3DS,
already
of course.
on the DSi.
Right.
Yeah, we will get free 3D Excite Bike.
Right.
If you update.
Which they said they were doing to get people involved in the eShop. They figured the only way to do that is to give away free stuff. It works for our show.
We like free shit, yeah.
But then Capcom.
Yeah, there's a big caveat here. So the first sort of big game that they've announced for it is Mega Man Legends 3. And Bloodworth, how's that all working out?
It's essentially a demo that you have to pay for, kind of like the Dead Rising 2 demo. You know,
You have to pay for a demo.
Well, that's my question. I mean,
Well,
Dead Rising 2 was
actually
actually
not
new
exactly
content.
a demo even.
Yeah, I mean, is this
It's a
actual different
prototype.
content?
right.
Yeah.
yeah, this is basic. Well, it's more of a beta. It's charging $2 to play the game and give Capcom your feedback and tell them what to do with it, what's wrong with it.
Has this been confirmed for the US? Because we knew it's
It's
Japan.
Not yet.
It hasn't been confirmed as far as pricing. In Japan, it's 200 yen.
So it's buy before you try, before you buy.
Dude, what planet does Nintendo live on?
Well,
this is
I don't think it's Capcom. This is
totally
Nintendo.
No,
This is
Nintendo
Capcom.
controls that. They can
No,
tell them
no,
you're
no,
not
no, no.
charging for a demo on our network. That's
Well-
all they have to say.
Again, Nintendo, they know how to make a profit, and if Capcom come to them, they're not going to say, "Oh no, we're not going to take our cut and stuff." Of course, they're going to go.
I think
for it.
Capcom was probably just inspired by Minecraft and selling alpha software or beta software.
Well, some people
But
think
this
it might
is-
be like an excuse to cancel the game if they don't get enough interest.
Well,
in it.
yeah,
and
they've
then
said
Inafune's
that.
left, and they're like,
Well, that's what they said.
because this is a version of the game that they submitted within the company. They're like, hey, I got an idea. How about we sell this thing, and if people buy it, then we make the game. I mean, I'm not sure how much of that is like completely verified, but I mean, it does kind of seem like Capcom's kind of holding the game for ransom or trying to squeeze some money out of fans or just kind of.
So with that in mind, we'd like to announce
Being
that
a
if you want to
dick.
listen to Invisible Walls for the rest of the show, it's going to cost you $2.99. Oh shit, nobody's
That
going to
means
pay
our
for this.
file could be about 10 minutes long.
Well, it seems like a strange series to do it with because, there's the hardcore fans that played it back in the day, and then there's all the other people that missed it and don't have a clue whether it's going to be good or not. And so you're going to charge them to try it out and check it out?
There's
I
so
bet-
much wrong with
I
this.
bet we'll see this more and more because I mean, like it's all about boiling the frog. I mean, people used to think those. I mean, now no one really cares, but I remember arguments for getting into early betas. Buy Crackdown, get into Halo. Or what? Buy.
Well, you know,
Yeah, but you're
getting
getting a full game.
Bulletstorm and Gears or
No, but,
Zone
like,
of
I mean,
Enders
yeah,
is like
but
Zone
lot
of Enders.
a lot
All
of
the
people
sales
bought
are
Zone of
based on
Enders
that.
for
Yeah.
the Metal Gear Solid demo.
It's been going on in.
You're still
I
getting
remember-
something for
Oh,
your money.
I understand that.
It's
And I
been
think
go-
everyone understands
yeah,
that, but
it's
I
also
still
been
think
going
it's
on
just
in
a
WoW for
next,
years.
the next step. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see more of this. I don't like it by any stretch of the imagination.
People just say no. Don't spend the $2. Tell them to shove it up their ass.
Yeah, but unfortunately, this is Mega Man, and I think Japan. There'll be enough people who will buy it in Japan to consider, so the game will be fun.
Well, that's-
And I think
That's the thing,
I think if you're a fan and you want to, you realize that you have no power anyway, whatever you do, if you want to check out the early game, I mean, I would be interested maybe. to
It's
pay
like
for
a
that.
ransom.
I'm a fan of the game. I understand.
won't
I
pay for it
understand
out
that
of
it's being
principle.
wrong.
I will not
It's
pay.
a ransom. It's like if you buy the demo, then we'll make the game. If you don't buy the demo out of
Yeah.
principle, then you're not going to ever get to play the full game.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to play with people's emotions. Like, but if I don't buy it, then I may never get the game.
And you know what? They can move.
Probably
they
they
can
might.
move-
I mean, they could just take all the money and then cancel it anyway.
that sounds
But
like
then, I mean, at
grassroots
least
Mega Man.
you played the demo. What if the game is never released at all?
They could actually
It's
go
all a
and-
big fucking mess, and it doesn't really matter what you do because you don't have any impact. You're not
yeah,
going
if
to
you
change or
don't
whatever.
buy it.
Yeah,
could
right.
stop
They'll
doing
put
it.
out the next one and say maybe they'll buy this one. What do they lose?
And you don't buy that one.
If they just cancel a game and don't release the thing and no one buys it,
Well,
then they
here's
don't
my-
make
here's my
however
question,
many
is the game gonna
$1,000.
be-
Well,
released on
they're
a
losing money because
They
spent
can't
money
lose.
developing the game already. They can lose.
People cancel games all the time without releasing them, and they lose
they
all
lose
that
money.
But this
Well, you
way,
just said they
if they
can't
release it and you don't buy it, some other guy buys it, they made $2.
Let's
They actually
qualify
made
this
some
by
money.
the fact that you are the world's biggest Mega Man fan.
No, I mean,
Yes, you are.
I like Mega Man Legends a lot. I'm glad that they canceled Mega Man Universe because it looked like shit. I'm not some kind of, I didn't even play all the NES Mega Man games.
All right, so let's talk about PSN and the fact that it has been down for over a frickin' week. Now I'm completely angry for the rest of this show, I might add.
Well, I think it's awesome, and it has a
mad.
weird symmetry
Shane
that our stuff's been down and has been our tech has been affected today, and we're going to talk about PSN being down for a week.
Invisible Walls is actually powered by PSN.
Yeah, it must
is.
be.
We're all Sony
because-
fanbots.
Stone bots, yes.
Yeah, so it's been down for a week. Sony finally admitted yesterday, which is Tuesday, that information has been stolen. I don't think they've completely committed to the fact that our credit card information is stolen, but they're telling us to go check our credit.
They said it's possible, which means you're screwed.
Did they actually tell you to go to freecreditreport.com?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you
get
You know
one
they're
free
getting
one
kick-
per
you know
year.
they're getting kickbacks there.
And not only that, they actually sent that press release out 3 times yesterday to make sure that it hit everybody and defeated the spam filters. So yeah, there's a lot of people bricking it. We know that the U.S. government, there's a senator who's actually sent a letter to
From
Jack
Connecticut.
Yeah, from
That's where I'm
Connecticut,
from.
and the British government have already started launching an inquiry.
Neat.
This is a big deal. I mean, it even made the local Fox News last night that they'd been down and apparently 70 million people were affected.
77, I think, is what the figure is of the number of people that are on PSN.
That must be. Does that include PS2
I
and PSP?
I don't think
And
so.
Well, I
PSP
mean,
Go? Other than that many
I never even heard of
PlayStations.
Curiosity before, whatever that was.
It's that link on your, crossbar that you never.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's to share
Yeah.
movies, pictures, videos. Think
The real
iTunes,
tragedy is that
books.
nobody can go around home
XMB.
now.
Right.
No, I mean the real tragedy was
What is
what
people
Mortal
doing in real
Kombat
life
came
right
out
now,
that
you know?
week.
Yeah.
Portal
Mortal
came
Kombat
out that
Portal.
week. Killzone Map Pack came out
My
that
numbers.
week.
I think
My
it's Gabe
numbers.
Newell. I think he
My
put
games.
something into Portal 2 because he really doesn't like the
Books.
the PlayStation. So
Well, I think starting to learn a valuable lesson this week is there's just certain people that you just don't mess with.
who do they mess with?
Well,
The
it's
Valve boys?
hackers that have brought down PlayStation Network.
Well, everybody look.
It's not anonymous, or anonymous is not taking credit.
What
Well,
does-
they take
does
credit-
that mean anything?
Well, they usually take credit for whatever they do.
Well, when they realize now that the U.S. government knows who all of them are because of the lawsuit, why would they take credit for that when they just come straight back to the 10 guys they've been talking to already?
I'm just saying, they're the kind of pompous guys that
Well,
would do
I
that.
mean, you think it's just a coincidence that this stuff happens and then all of a sudden PSN goes down? It's just
Well, I think what it
random?
is it revealed that they were weak. And that's what I don't get about this whole thing. It's like they've taken PSN down to rebuild the structures. Like, why weren't you rebuilding the structure
Well,
anyway?
you guys remember the 8th core on the fucking PlayStation is supposed to be security.
Right.
Remember, like, we only use 7 cores for games. The 8th core, is that just so you can't fucking pirate games? Or what?
Probably. I mean, the one thing to keep in mind here is that we are not paying for PSN, so I think that softens the blow. I think it was back in 2007 that Xbox Live went down for some people for a while. It didn't go down for me when that happened, but I knew a couple people where it did go down.
Yeah, I mean, and
No,
Warcraft...
if you're a premium subscriber, you're paying 50 odd bucks a pop for the
Well,
player
and
on
no,
premium.
and they'll add Xbox will add 2 days for every day you're down, or when Warcraft's down unexpected. I don't think it's happened in a long time, but Warcraft would add a couple days to your
even
subscription.
Netflix
The
do
problem
that.
here with PlayStation is that it's a predominantly free service. Even if they gave everyone a free month of PSN Plus, that would seem like a lame marketing ploy already. There's so many free users that you can't really give everyone $1 even on the store. You can give everyone Flow, you could give everyone Flower, like a Sony property game, but I don't know if they're going to try to make
People are really
good.
angry over this. Do they have a right to be that angry? I mean, they're getting a service for free.
The ones who do have a,
Well,
have
they have
a
a-
right to be really angry.
you have
We're
your
angry
credit
over
card
our-
information
obviously
there.
our
Yeah.
personal information is one thing, but people are just
if
angry
you're
about
paying,
PSN
well,
being
if you're
down.
paying a subscription, I mean that would
No,
be the
you
first
should be angry
reason to
because
be
when you
angry.
buy a PlayStation 3, I mean that's part of the agreement is that you are getting this service. Yes, it's free, but it was part of your buy-in to buying a PlayStation 3. It's great that it's free. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the fact that you have to pay to play online games on Xbox 360 is a little backwards, but I think as a consumer, consumer rights, you should expect to be able to play your games and what you do.
Well, that
when
and the
you-
duration
with that
too.
purchase.
It's taken forever. It's been over a week. Everybody's like, I keep thinking it's going to be fixed the next morning. The next morning, they keep checking it. It's not fixed.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's like,
the
what's
funny
going
thing
on?
is because I went for the PS3 copy of Portal. It's like I can't play Portal 2 on my PC because the PSN is down because I haven't gotten a chance to transfer over my
And
Steam
you can't
account
play
yet.
co-op either.
Yeah.
Which is one of the big draws and one of the big improvements in that game.
I
And
do-
then there's Mortal Kombat, which is all about head-to-head play.
Yep.
Well, I
Right,
do find
the
it
single
really,
player's great, but
it's really ironic that not 2 weeks ago we were sitting here discussing how great the multiplayer was for Resistance and Uncharted 3 and Ratchet and Clank. Well, not so much for Ratchet and Clank, but even Twisted Metal looked pretty fun. But now that's what they've just basically lost all that good press and positive buzz around their multiplayer stuff because their multiplayer system is janky.
will you guys put your credit card information back on PSN when it comes back up?
Fuck no.
Probably not. I mean, like I said, my card wasn't even working for some reason. I've been having to use cards to buy stuff.
I will say that there is there's an old British phrase that if you pay peanuts you get monkeys, and basically you get the service you pay for, and because it's free, there are people who are going to say, people are going to say, well, you get what you deserve. I think the Sony need to buck up their ideas. Sony still, in my opinion, don't understand really well how to execute a multiplayer gaming service. I know people criticize Xbox a lot, but what Microsoft did was smart was they had the MSN Gaming Zone, which was out there 10, 15 years ago when we were playing PC games, and that was the basis for Xbox Live, where they moved that over and merged it. So they do understand, and Microsoft seemed pretty secure about it. Sony, however, I mean, their whole system's still a freaking mess as far as I'm concerned.
Well, you've got to hope, too, that Microsoft, with all the money we give them for Xbox Live, that if something like this were to happen to Xbox Live, you would hope that they would have a team ready to go.
Oh, yeah. But
and they could get the problem fixed in a moderate amount of time. I think a couple days we could all tolerate, but this is a week.
Well, Sony's hired an outside firm.
Right, which means they were not prepared to handle something like this internally.
Well, no,
That's pretty
the
interesting.
investigation term. That's the investigation team. It's an outside security team to investigate the issue.
But they
So,
should be
yeah,
able to
they
do
don't
that
have
on
an internal
their own. I mean, if they're going to be prepared to fix problems like this as they happen, then they need a team that can
Do
investigate
you think there's
internally.
any chance it could have been an internal job?
Who knows?
Let's start that rumor.
I mean, and so maybe the anonymous group aren't the ones that did it. The bottom line is that Sony was messing with the hacking community at large. So maybe other hackers were like, yeah, they can't do anything about it, but we sure can.
What's Phil Harrison up to nowadays?
So hopefully next week when we do the show, we're not talking about this again, and hopefully it's fixed, and hopefully Sony has done a make good and given us all a free month of PlayStation Plus or something, or given us a free game.
I think, honestly, the first thing, they need to get it up. They need to get it secure. They need to make their system better front end and back end. They need to be way more savvy about it. And I mean, this is something that I have an issue with ironically, the other Japanese company and Nintendo. Xbox, Steam, those guys generally tend to get it. Games for Windows Live is a bag of shit. Always will be, always has been. But Xbox seem to get it. And yes, we are paying for more security. But Nintendo and Sony still seem to have a lack of basic understanding when it comes to what you need in an online gaming service.
Do you think this possibly convinces Sony to start charging for PSN so that they can offset the cost of having teams ready to handle stuff like this and create a better infrastructure?
Well, I think if they come if they come at a decent price and they deliver enough premium content for it, I mean, and I'm not talking about sitting watching fucking Core, because that shit just drives me batty. Yeah, if they can bring enough stuff, and great, why not? I mean, I don't have a problem playing.
I don't know that they can do that. Like,
oh my
as
God,
the turnaround,
flip out.
that's not gonna work.
Well, I think
So now you have to pay for it because we screwed up.
Well, I also think it's
something you were getting for free for the last several years.
It's also something that would have to be led from the West. I don't think Japan's capable of it. I don't think Sony Japan are forward-thinking enough in the online environment to be able to put together a really solid package that is worth charging.
Well, there goes our element of surprise.
Shit! Damn! We're sitting ducks. Now every lobe fighter is going to know we're coming in.
All right, so we got Brooks in here to talk to us about Bethesda's lineup. You went to the mountains of Utah, correct?
Park City, Utah, yep, for the BFG 2011 event.
So how big were those fucking games?
Those were pretty big games, yeah. They showed off Prey 2, which was pretty neat. They just gave us a presentation that was not hands-on, and I gotta say, it's pretty far removed from the first Prey in terms of where it's located now on that alien world and how you play as a human in a full alien race. Yeah, they gave us a nice long presentation of Prey 2. I'm actually literally looking forward to that. It's got Mirror's Edge elements in it. You're going to be doing a lot of, like, traversing the land, a lot of verticality to it. And then there's a lot of, like, player choice in that game, too. The way you tackle missions is a lot like Grand Theft Auto, where you go up and if you want to partake in a mission, you can. You talk to a lot of the characters and then get things going. And as a bounty hunter, you're actually hunting quite a bit.
Did they? If you die, do you go to a stupid mini game and then just restart exactly where you were?
No, they didn't show any death, and that was a question one of the journalists had.
Because that ruined the game for me.
It did,
I thought it had
yeah.
a great demo, and then I played the game. I died at the first boss, and I did the stupid mini game, and I'm back there, and the boss is the exact same state I left him in. It just, believe me, I have abused quick save and quick load throughout my entire life, but I always kind of felt like I was gaming the system. Like, ha ha ha, I'm smarter than this game, even though I'm just a cheater. But Prey just completely, I lost all interest in that
your
game.
ass.
That was one of the launch titles, right, for the 360?
No, it took a little while.
It
Yeah,
took
it
a little
came out
while.
later.
All right. Well, yeah, Prey 2 is not scheduled for 2012. There's still a lot of time. They're still working on a lot of the kinks and everything. But we talked about Skyrim last week. Okay.
Let's talk about the story of Prey. Does it pick up right after the end of the first one?
It doesn't. The new guy in this game, actually, we're not playing as Tommy again. But Tommy has some sort of role in the game. They weren't really clear about how he's going to be in there. You're not going to play as him. He's just going to have something to do with the story. You were one of the survivors on the airplane that crashed, and it crash landed on that planet that you're on. And because you have a background as a marshal in the U.S., you have a firearm, and you just start this really weird life as a bounty hunter on this planet. There's no real explanation. You just kind of assimilate to this new lifestyle. You don't really question it so much. You're just there.
What do the enemies look like?
They brought back a lot of the there are a couple of clubs you go in, like nightclubs, and they're doing strip dances and stuff, but you don't want to see any of that.
So wait. It's an alien planet, but they're not aliens?
No, they're all aliens. They are. Oh. You are the one human, apparently.
So there's clubbing aliens.
Going back to Justin's question. How many breasts?
How
many breasts do these women have?
They didn't focus too much of the energy on that.
Sure they didn't.
I wish they did.
They never showed women?
Not really. They didn't.
Or can you not tell what is a woman and what is a man with this alien race?
I don't think you'd really want to care at that point. It's so far removed from a human anatomy. Like, do you really want to see alien?
I'm pretty
women?
kinky.
So what else did you see at BFG?
Thank you. All right, so I did get to play some Brink, and that game's coming out.
Did you get confused?
No, I did not get confused, but I didn't like it, and I'm sorry to say that because I know there's a lot of people really eager to play this game.
Why did you not like it?
It felt very underpolished to me. Going from, we'll get into it, but going from Brink to Rage really like solidified that fact too. But Brink, first of all, personally, I'm not a big fan of the multiplayer facet like Team Fortress, and so we were playing by ourselves.
But it goes way beyond that.
Yeah, it does.
It is probably the most complicated multiplayer shooter I've ever played.
It's got a lot going on. It does have that smart system in tow where you could just literally jump from one area to the next, but they don't. The levels I was playing on did not encourage that. So I just started playing it like a traditional shooter, and I'm running upstairs, and I'm trying to do these objectives that they wanted us to do, where you're just trying this. It's almost like human flag capturing. I found myself getting bored with it really quickly.
Yeah, the game on a technical level. Last time I saw it was months and months ago.
Yeah.
But from a graphical perspective, it's certainly not a looker.
No, it's not. It's got a lot going for it, and I could see a lot of the potential and how people are going to be able to utilize the environments and take advantage of the different classifications. But still, for me, it felt underpolished. It felt like it moved too slow, and I didn't like the objectives they gave us at first.
I think it's going to be a slow burn of a game to kind of get into. Randomly generated maps and stuff like that. I think it's definitely going to find its niche, but I think it may be a game that you need to have more than which is rare for a first-person shooter. I think it may be more than an hour or so to actually get into that sort of thing.
This is from the team that made Enemy Territory Quake Wars. And, I think that was kind of a polarizing multiplayer experience. People either loved the hell out of it or they hated it. And
I could see that relationship with this game, too.
Yeah,
going on.
Enemy Territory was one of those kind of cult hit games that sort of spurred this studio on to go and create full-fledged games. But I feel like the magic sauce doesn't necessarily translate across all the games that they work on.
And my issue with that is when you are playing by yourself and you're trying to command a team of like 8 different people, you can't really tell them what to do, so you're kind of at the mercy of what the AI is capable of doing. And a lot of times I was just getting frustrated. I was like, no, you guys, you need to go over there and help cover fire so I could get in there and do what I need to do. Or you're trying to plant a bomb and then the timer was taking like 20 seconds to plant the bomb.
It just seems weird. Why would you be playing with AI like that?
That's just how the game operates. Yeah, it's just. Yeah. And I found myself dying quite a bit. Shit happens in a shooter like that. And then you respawn like 300 yards away from where you need to be, and then next thing you know, you're frantically running to try to get back into the action, and that was.
Yeah, I think you had a very similar experience to what I had while playing it.
Yeah,
which is discouraging considering I haven't played it in months and months. So it doesn't sound like they streamlined any of that stuff.
No,
so let's talk about Rage.
Rage, that was cool. They gave
was
us.
This your first time checking it out?
This is the first time seeing it, checking it out, getting some really good hands-on time with it. The level of polish in Rage is outstanding. They really put a lot of effort into that, and you could feel it. You could tell. They gave us like a 5-part demo where you could check out the driving mechanics. That was just a simple 3-lap race. Simple, like Mario Kart-esque. You're just trying to destroy your competitors, take first place. Really, really small track, though, so I didn't get a sense of the scale of how big they're going to make some of these tracks.
Did they say how much of the game is going to be racing? Because I've heard tale that it's going to take up a big portion of the gameplay. I don't think there is.
The one time they did mention those words, deathmatch, was applicable to Cars. Yeah.
I've been hearing that there's no multiplayer deathmatch.
Well, no, but there is going to be a co-op session, much like, it's just 2 people going in and taking on these side missions that last anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes.
So they didn't comment on that the driving was the only multiplayer online component.
It seems like it's going to be their one that you're going to go head-to-head on. Yeah. And then they have that co-op play.
That's a big deal, man.
Yeah,
for a modern first-person shooter.
Why would they neglect that?
Again, I've only heard rumors of that. That's why I'm asking you. I'm just saying, I've been hearing through the grapevine that that's the case, so hopefully my sources are
It
wrong.
must. That'd just be too bizarre not to include anything like that. But the game itself, solid. I really enjoyed going through that. I played it for a good hour, and like I said, there's 5 different scenarios you played. One was the kart racing. Another one just give you you got to take on the enemies themselves. The AI is awesome, like you guys were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
They know how to duck and weave and get in and out of cover, and they try to flank you and get on the sides, and strategy plays a pretty big role in that game.
Yeah, they do a lot of parkour as well.
The weapons are cool. They're gritty. They're dark. They feel like you kind of piece them together yourselves.
Yeah.
And you could zoom in on pistols, good headshots.
That's a big part of it too, is finding the plans hidden throughout the game that help you build.
Yeah, you're constantly
new things.
collecting and items that you can pick up flash, and so it's got that nice like RPG element where you stop, take a moment, collect things, put them together, and that's how you get through doorways and piece together new weapons.
And what did you think about the overall structure of the campaign? How you're kind of a part of that almost shanty-like town, and how do you feel like they fleshed all that out?
Very Fallout looking, yeah. Feeling too. You're going out, you're meeting a lot of new people. Story-wise, I'm still a little unclear what they're going to be doing exactly. I just know that you're part of an elite band of like hooligan guys, and you're just making your way up the ranks. Yeah, there's a lot going on.
In any of the stuff you saw, did they actually fight any of the giant mutants? Because they keep showing them in the trailers or ending the trailers with one of them coming in, but I mean...
No, you never had a
you
chance
never
to fight one of the bigger ones. No.
Okay.
It's like the Brumax from Gears.
Why do you always have to be part of an elite band? Why can't you be part of an underwhelming band?
Band of misfits.
A kind of pathetic band.
I mean, they have kept this game very close to the chest. I mean,
I want to see a demo for everybody to start playing.
They've shown the game several times, but the first few times they showed it, they showed the same demo over and over. It sounds like they didn't really show anything new to you that I didn't see at last year's E3, and here we are a year later. So they have been keeping a lot of that stuff under wraps. Now, here's my big question. Did you like Rage or Skyrim more?
I didn't get to play Skyrim. I liked Rage more myself, yeah.
That's
my type of
because
game.
You played it, or because it's your type of game?
It's just my type of game, personally. I'm more of a shooter.
What you think you're doing around here, eh? You see a mutant yet? Them were just like you and me. Then the space rock went and hit us. Those unlucky few left on the surface started changing. Them were crazy days. Didn't have no time to get deeper, I suppose. Now those mutants are getting worse. Don't know how, but the authorities been doing experiments on them. Making them bigger and meaner. You watch out. You see a mutant, you run.
All right, next we have 3 games to talk about that are completely unrelated.
2 of them have cars.
Actually, 3 might have cars.
And they're all being talked about by Justin, so that's some kind of relation.
Yep. So Driver San Francisco, Shadows of the Damned, and Dirt 3.
They all have D in the title.
There's similarities in everything if you just look.
You dirty damn driver.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Driver first, because this game was, they showed it at E3 last year, and I think it was supposed to come out last year.
Yeah.
It keeps getting pushed.
Yeah, and then they pushed it back. How's it looking now?
Looks pretty good. It's a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah?
Out of the 3 games there, and I played all 3 games this time. Sometimes you don't quite have time. You're waiting around. You're doing interviews.
They don't give you a chance.
Too much stuff. But, here, I played everything. Rich actually played Driver also. Yeah, it's pretty fun, actually.
Yeah.
I like it. It's also their story conceit where your dude's in a coma and you can jump from car to car.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They totally know in the story that, like, it's kind of stupid and goofy, so they just kind of
play
it really loose, and the guy, like, gets in a car with someone. It's like some guy's wife is like, "Who the hell are you?" And she's like, "Husband, what are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm driving a car. Oh, my God. We're going to jump over, some tractor trailers or something."
Is it really that corny?
Not quite that corny, but, that's not far off. There's a lot of, kind of like joking around, but anyway,
nod,
the
wink,
actual
wink.
jumping from car to car. First of all, the car handling it feels pretty good. Driving in first person is fun. There's just a lot of drifting and fishtailing and fast going and all that.
And it's
car chasing
San Francisco, which is a
San
great place
Francisco,
for any
full of
driving game to
stupid
be
hills
set.
and all kind of. Yeah, you already have a good chance to
Have some fun.
Yeah,
I've always
have
had a
some fun
soft
just
spot
from the layout.
for the Driver series. I mean, I'm not the big Driver.
Say what?
I've always had a soft spot for the Driver
Oh,
franchise.
yeah.
I just think the way they started off with with it, it's just the stories have always been very tongue in cheek. Very, they don't take themselves too seriously. And I'm never not the greatest. I mean, Dirt 3, Forza, Gran Turismo, leave me cold. This sort of thing, where you've got you can have a little bit.
Gives
of
you a
fun
little bit
with
of
it.
context too, right?
Yeah, and
See, it's not just you driving a car for the sake of driving a car.
and hopefully being able to recreate the famous car chase from Bullet in the streets of San Francisco. That would be friggin' awesome.
Did they say when the thing's going to come out?
Maybe, but I forgot that part.
Okay, that's not important.
You can do cool stuff. I feel like I should give at least one example of cool stuff you can do. So you're chasing a dude. Maybe this is revealed already. I don't know, but to me it was kind of new. So you're chasing this guy. You can jump out of your car, jump into another car headed the other way, crash into him head on, and then kind of catch up with him that way. You can block intersections, or
Yeah, I mean, I've
you
seen
can
that.
do
Is there
a
some
lot
kind
of
of
screwing around, and it's kind of fun. Or if you're just driving around and you do something bad and you're like, oops, and you're about to slam into a wall at 9 miles an hour,
Jump
just jump
out.
out and get another car, and you're like, haha, sorry about that, But
Yeah, I mean,
fun.
that's what I wonder. Is there some kind of thing that balances out how often you can do that, or is it just
As far as I know, you can do it as much as you want. I think there are certain vehicles you can't jump into, the vehicle you're trying to catch or whatever. But
Oh, there goes my strategy.
I don't think it's too much.
Apply the brakes.
I don't think they limit you too much. All the stuff that I played, you were able to just you get in another car and do whatever. There are cars where you complete challenge missions, so I think you're required to jump into that car and do something in that car. But I think even then you can still leave and whatever. But they also mentioned you don't have to jump out of your car and do all kinds of crazy stuff. All the missions of the game supposedly, or at least most of them, are something like that. You can just stay in your car and just kind of get things done, drive around, smash into things. So it's there for you to screw around with, but to whatever extent you want to do it.
And
Dirt 3.
The release date for Driver is September.
Dirt 3. Dirt 2, one of the best looking games I've ever seen.
Dirt 3
running
looks
on
pretty good.
DirectX 11.
It's all right. There's cars in it.
On the
you know.
360.
It's easy to make cars look good.
You
I'm
think?
not, I'm not really a person who appreciates super fine distinctions and car graphics over, I mean.
Well, it wasn't really
as long
about
as it looks
well,
okay.
it was about the cars. 'Cause it was about the damage in Dirt 2, which was the best I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I'm actually excited about Dirt 3.
It was about the terrain.
They do
The
have damage.
footage he sent back was the multiplayer,
It's
and I mean,
all party mode stuff.
Yeah,
or
Dirt-
a lot of it. We saw.
it's
we
a
saw some
serious
split screen
game,
too.
but then the multiplayer modes are all they've captured the flag and what was it, infected?
the
Invasion?
outbreak mode.
Outbreak,
Yeah,
yeah, that's awesome. If anyone ever played San Francisco Rush on the N64, they had a tag mode, which I wish more games would use. It was actually a lot of fun, and that kind of has that kind of flavor going for it. Looks pretty fun for
a lot of that
a
stuff.
serious car game to have these kind of different modes.
Why did they say they put that stuff in there? Because it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
I think they thought it would be fun.
That's it.
And all games are trying to appeal to broader, wider audiences. They're like, yeah, some of our hardcore fans are like, why are you doing this stuff, but
And then you wonder if those people will ever even get the message that this game has that stuff. I mean, there'll be a screenshot on the back maybe to clue them in, but I mean, I don't think a lot of people will know.
anyone
there's
who
these
listens to
wacky
Invisible
minigames.
Walls will know.
Right.
They'll know all about it.
Well, there's a lot more people than 100,000 out there. So they're getting that messaging across while still keeping your current audience who loves the Dirt franchise and wants the realism out of it. That could be a challenge for them, I think.
Well, I mean, it is kind of a separate mode. I do find it kind of strange if someone's like, why did you put that optional mode that I don't have to play in my game? I mean,
Yeah.
get over it, Play your damn game. Have fun.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Did you get to see any of the new single player stuff as well, as far as the weather
how does,
system
the
and
campaign
everything?
work?
I saw some snow. We got some snow, driving through snow. Kind of.
I saw a lot of restarting through snow, but yeah.
Is there a story to it? Like the last one?
Rich did all the direct feed for the snow part. Actually, the first time is doing really good, and then 5 feet before he crossed the line, he just flew off the road, which happens.
It does. The story.
The story
Is there a
of
story
Dirt?
behind Dirt? Is there a campaign?
Yeah, I think there's a campaign. I think you drive cars.
I think we could deduce that much.
Yeah, maybe you get better cars. I don't know. It's kind of likely. But it's this event was just kind of multiplayer focused, and they're like,
Okay.
have some fun, do the multiplayer. They're like, they showed split screen. They're like, we didn't do it before, now we did it.
Got ya.
It's good that we did it. I was like, yes, I agree.
People are always commenting about that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Shadows of the Damned.
Mhm.
I obviously checked it out at GDC. Kind of lukewarm on it. Liked some parts of it, didn't like other parts of it. What was your impression of it?
I'm sure that it will be a game. It's a very gamey kind of game. Grasshopper's making it. You can kind of tell that they've made it, but at the same time, I kind of wish it would be a little more obtuse and
I
bizarre.
felt the same
and,
exact way. I
They're
was like,
playing
this
it too
seems
safe?
way too normal for you guys.
it's very like, Resident Evil 4-y,
You
but
think?
not as...
See, at least I thought there was kind of a dark, creepy undertone to RE4, but I just felt like this whole
Well, not in
game
terms
was
of the
just for
tone, just the
gags.
gameplay. It's like a straight up, it's this style of shooter.
Over
you,
the shoulder.
You
yeah.
stop, you hit the button, you aim, you shoot some things. You hold down a trigger and kind of dash in a weird way. You're always looking at some dude's shoulders. But they had some kind. For the demo there, they had God mode on, so you couldn't quite tell how this mechanic plays out. Where if you're in this kind of hell darkness, then you'll tick down your health, and you have to you stuff your little buddy who's like a torch into a furnace or something, or a lamp, and you light up the area. You have to use a secondary fire on your guns to kind of remove the veil of darkness from enemies before you shoot them with regular bullets. A little bit Alan Wakey, I guess, but I mean, I don't know. It looks kind of cool, and I'm interested in playing it to see what kind of weird shit they end up rolling out. But it kind of seems like they're playing it safe to some extent, I guess.
Yeah, I would agree. It didn't seem like one of their games when I saw it.
How's the music?
It was very loud there.
Wasn't
I
it like a
didn't really-
musical event or something?
Huh? Oh yeah, they did a concert. Akide Yamaoka was hanging out, played some electric guitar, which he is skilled at. We did an interview about him about the music. He's like, yeah, we did some stuff with symphony, but most of it's like kind of punk rock style, like Grasshopper. They're that kind of dude, so I tried to do that. But yeah, it was pretty fun. Everyone drank a lot more than normal game events. I think it's because it was kind of a concert feel,
Yeah.
So, yeah, pretty fun. As for the game, I'm still interested, but yeah, it seems very kind of normal, straightforward game, not
Quirky.
The hell depicted in this game is the overall sum of all things evil, dark, and scary in our daily lives. It represents all those things. That's what this game is all about.
It could be over there, or like there. That's where the world of the damned is.
Gladly, that's the end of Invisible Walls episode 157.
Should we get the apologies in now? Sorry about that.
Yeah, we really apologize about the show. It's been...
Wasn't my fault.
As
I
tough
didn't
as
do
it was for you to listen to it, for us to record it, it was 5 times worse.
It's taken us almost 90 minutes to record what I will cut down to a 20-minute podcast.
Yeah. it's been a bit of a disaster today. I think we did at least get through a ton of topics, but it happened so long ago, I can't even remember what they were. So, there it is.
LA Noir comes out in a couple of weeks.
Yes,
That
it
looks-
does.
yeah.
We should actually be having a report from LA Noir pretty soon, so make sure you stick around for that. Also, don't forget Reset every Saturday morning. Columns from all the guys here on the show. Definitely talking about things you're not going to hear on Invisible Walls.
What's your column about this week, Shane?
I'm not going to tell you. You have to check out Reset. But they are written, boys and girls. They're not video.
We write them in what's known as the Queen's English.
Yes.
I write them in.
Well, I do. The
Notepad.
Americans
I know,
know what they write
I know
them in.
reading is one of those things that has kind of been left behind in today's school systems, but hopefully some of you guys have mastered it and can check out Reset on Saturday. And then we've also launched a brand new feature called Level in the last week. Ryan, this was kind of your baby, so why don't you explain it?
Basically, these are just little love letters / deconstructions of the best little moments in games. Starting with some of the big heavy hitters, but I think we're going to get some more obscure things in there, and it's just something that people can actually claim credit for and just share with people great moments from great games. Having some older games, but hopefully we'll get some newer ones in there too. I think there's a lot of good stuff that people sometimes they know it's cool, but maybe if you actually take a minute to think about it, it's kind of interesting to see why something is so cool or stands out.
Yep, it's all about celebrating the parts of games that we love most, and that's what we like to do here at GT. So as always, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next week with a much better episode.
Hey, Invisible Walls is up and out today.